Dude, what's up with the light show?
Just practicing my sorcery.
Well, stop goofing off. We got videos to shoot.
Transferus Metamorphosis! And by spending an extra sorcery point, I'll get some peace of mind for twice as long.
You know, you can't cast that. We're talking D&D Sorcerer 5e. Go-to spell is only tier 1.
Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Stave, and as usual, I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Maybe this is your first time visiting Ted's Basement. It's a place where we like to talk about news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Sometimes we even talk about other role-playing games.
So if you don't want to miss a single video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and attune to that notification bell.
Hey, weren't you a Newt?
Well, I got better.
Alright, so we're going to talk about Tier 1 go-to spells for the Sorcerer. As usual, we have a specific way that we break these down. We do an attack spell, a buff spell, an iconic spell.
We got a defense spell, a utility spell, and an overlooked spell.
All the spells. So we're going to pull the spells up on our handy-dandy devices here, which, thanks to D&D Beyond, makes this so easy. All right, so attack spells, and just spells in general for doing the Sorcerer, you have to take into consideration that Sorcerers have flexible casting and meta magic feats. So when picking their spells, it could be a lot different than other character classes that are spellcasters.
Oh, I mean, realistically, that's one of the things that actually make the Sorcerer stand out, is using those meta magic abilities. So if you're taking spells that really aren't going to get as much of a bump by using those meta magic abilities, it's not really fitting into that sorceress mindset. It's just basically a wizard spell at that point.
Well, it's not only that too, but because they have a limited number of spells that they can know, you're not getting as much bang for your buck as well. So for the attack spells, this first spell that I went with was Dragon's Breath, 2nd level, bonus action to cast. It is touch, 15-foot cone. Duration, lasts a minute, concentration, and it's a dex save. You touch one willing creature and imbue it with the power to spew magical energy from its mouth, provided it has one. Choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. Until the spell ends, the creature can use an action to exhale energy of the chosen type in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw, taking 3d6 damage on the chosen type on a failed save, and half as much damage on a successful one. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, the damage increases by a d6 for each slot level above 2nd. What makes Dragon's Breath so great is there is a handful of meta magics that you can use with it. There's actually 4. Careful, Distant, Extend, and Twin. So and Power as well, I believe. So these are all great. Twin is awesome because you can touch 2 creatures, and then each round as an action, they can use this for 10 rounds essentially. That's 30d6 of damage times 2 if you only use a 2nd level slot. It could be even more, and maybe for whatever reason you need to do energy type damage, or you need area of effects. It makes multiple people in the party controllers. So it makes it for a great attack spell. Next up, we have our buff spell, which for that we're going with Enlarge Reduce. And, this could also be a utility spell or a buff spell, but right now we're going to use it as a buff. It's another 2nd level spell, 1 action to cast, range 30 foot, lasts a minute, concentration. You cause a creature or an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller for the duration. Choose either a creature or an object that is neither worn nor carried. If the target is unwilling, it can make a Constitution saving throw when successful. The spell has no effect. If the target is a creature, everything it is wearing and carrying changes size with it. Any item dropped by an affected creature returns to normal size at once. Enlarge. Target size doubles in all dimensions and its weight is multiplied by 8. The growth increases its size by 1 category, from medium to large. For example, if there isn't enough room for the target to double its size, the creature or object attains the maximum possible size and space available. Until the spell ends, the target also has an advantage on strength checks and saving throws. The target's weapons also grow to match its new size. While these weapons are enlarged, the target attacks with them deals a extra die 4 of damage. but we can reduce someone as well. The target size is halved in all dimensions and its weight is reduced by 1/8 of normal. This reduction decreases its size by one category from medium to small, for example. Till the spell ends, the target also has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. The target's weapons also shrink to match the new size. While these weapons are reduced, the target's attacks with them deal a die 4 less damage and can't be reduced below 1. So with this, you're going to get a lot of utility as well as using it as a buff, as a debuff. I think that's great, but also there's a handful of meta magics that we can use in conjunction.
So with this one, it's going to be really great because you can use extend, get that extra duration. You can use twin, so you get multiple people with it. And, should you really need to, you've also got the ability to go distant to get further away.
Yeah, so I think this makes a great choice for a sorcerer. Since, again, you only have so many spells you can know, why not put this one in your repertoire, which you're going to have a lot of uses for it.
So the meta magics that we have for enlarge, reduce, we've got extend, distant, and twin.
So you're going to have a lot more options. You only have so many spells you can know. As a sorcerer, I feel like this is a great one to have in your repertoire when you need, whether you need the debuff, whether you need the buff, or you need a utility. It kind of covers all of those areas.
It's a really, really great spell for all of that.
But you know what? Speaking of buff spells, let's talk about buffing up your D&D game by using our sponsor and our go-to digital tool, D&D Beyond.
So D&D Beyond is a great resource, regardless of how you want to use it. You've got access to all the character information. You got access to all the monster information. And, there's loads of awesome free content over there, whether you want the videos, you want the articles, or whether you just want what's accessible via the SRD.
You can help support the channel by supporting the sponsor. You can find a link down in the description. So with that, let's go to defensive spells.
All right, so with the defensive spells, I'm going to pull up my device, and I'm looking at Mage Armor. So first level spell, casting time 1 action. It's a touch, requires verbal, somatic, and material. Duration is 8 hours, which is awesome. Abjuration. There's no attack because it's a defensive spell. And obviously this is a buff. You touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor, and a protective magical force surrounds it until the spell ends. The target's base AC is 13 plus its dex modifier. The spell ends if the target dons armor or if you dismiss the spell as an action. Pretty useful in a lot of circumstances. So often you see those encounters that start off with you in the prison. All of your gear has been taken. Well, you can't take away Mage Armor.
Yeah, the great thing about this spell, and I didn't even realize it, I just assumed it was a self. It's not. It's touch. It means you don't have to cast it on yourself. That means we can twin it. We can put it on ourselves and somebody else, or on several people in the party that maybe don't have great armor classes. This could help them out. Or in that prison situation like you're talking about, they're like, oh, well, you know what? I can put armor on the warriors for now. It also lasts a long time, 8 hours. Well, we can extend that and make it 16, which is a great use of a single sorcery point, in my opinion.
I would agree. So for our iconic spell, we're actually going to go a little out of the box on this one, and we're looking at Chaos Bolt. And I think we chose this one because it's the spell that only sorcerers get. So how more iconic can you get than only being able to be cast by a sorcerer?
Admittedly, it was a little difficult to pick out an iconic spell for sorcerers because over the past 3 editions, they've been a bit different with each. So this one's a little bit more of a stretch, but the fact that they made a spell only for sorcerers, I'm like, that seems about right. And also, especially if you're talking about the wild magic sorcerer, it totally fits.
So first level spell, casting time 1 action. Range is 120 foot. Verbal somatic. Duration is instantaneous. School is evocation. It's ranged, and it can do a variety of different damages. You hurl an undulating, warbling mass of chaotic energy at one creature in range. I mean, come on, that's an awesome sentence right there. You've got undulating and warbling right together. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one of the d8s. The number rolled on that die determines the attack's damage type as shown below. Acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, poison, psychic, thunder. If you roll the same number on both d8s, the chaotic energy leaps from the target to a different creature of your choice within 30 feet of it. Make a new attack roll against the new target and make a new damage roll, which could cause the chaotic energy to leap again. A creature can be targeted only once by each casting of this spell. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd or higher, each target takes 1d6 extra damage of the type rolled for each slot above 1st. A lot of fun there.
So we have a couple choices for metamagics here. Distant and power and subtle are all choices that you can use when casting this spell.
Subtle has, little bit of uses for when you're trying to, cast the spell on the fly or on the sly, I should say, so that they don't observe you. Distant, I mean, it already goes 120 feet away, so getting that increased range means you're able to get that bang out, before the combat's even really going. So pretty useful there.
But not only that, if you were to take a feat like Spell Sniper, you can double the range again, and then you're reaching almost out to 500 feet, 480, just shy. You're getting close to that longbow range. Not bad at all. So next up, we were going to take a look at one of the Overlook spells. Now, I picked this one as an overlook because I rarely see players choose this, but not only that, so many races in 5e, D&D have dark vision. But that being said, I have played humans that don't have it, halflings don't have it, dragonborn don't have it. So if everyone in the party has dark vision but that one or two characters, it's really annoying because everyone else wants to kind of like skulk around the dungeon without giving away their position, and they're like, oh, the human can't see. But dark vision can help that. It's a 2nd level spell, 1 action to cast. Its range is touch. It's not a concentration spell, and it lasts 8 hours. You touch a willing creature to grant the ability to see in the dark for the duration the creature has dark vision out to the range of 60 feet. So it just fixes a problem in the party. You can cast Extend on it. You can cast Twin on it. So you can get maybe you and the human and the halfling in the group, or the dragonborns in the group. And it's great. No one has to bother with a torch, and it just will last probably for as long as you need it to.
Really useful. And, like Dave says, it alleviates a problem that, a lot of adventuring parties might have to deal with. So I guess our last one up is utility, and I'm going to take care of that one, and that is enhanceability. Really awesome spell, if you ask me. 2nd level spell, casting time 1 action, range is touch. It's got verbal somatic material. Its duration is concentration up to an hour. It's transmutation, and, it's considered a buff effect. You touch a creature and bestow upon it a magical enhancement. Choose one of the following effects. The target gains that until the spell ends. Bear's Endurance. The target has advantage on Constitution checks. It also gains 2d6 temporary hit points, which are lost when the spell ends. Bull's Strength. The target has advantage on strength checks, and his or her carrying capacity doubles. Cat's Grace. The target has advantage on dexterity checks. It also doesn't take damage from falling 20 feet or less if it isn't incapacitated. Eagle's Splendor. The target has advantage on charisma checks. Fox's Cunning. The target has advantage on intelligence checks. Owl's Wisdom. The target has advantage on wisdom checks. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd or higher, you can target 1 additional creature for each spell slot above 2nd.
So it's got a lot of uses that you're going to be able to use it for. We've got a couple meta magics we can use with it. Extend, so you can double the duration, or also you can use Twin. This way you can get more than one person in a single casting.
Without having to use a higher level spell slot.
Without using a higher level spell slot. So there's a ton of utility there. And just because there's so many different circumstances that you're going to be able to use it, I think it's a good choice for the sorcerer.
As Dave says, there's so much built into this one spell. In earlier editions, each one of these things was a different spell, so having it all combined into one makes it really powerful, if you ask me.
Right, you're going to be able to use it in combat, you're going to be able to use it for exploration, and you're going to be able to use it for social. So it covers all the pillars of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons.
It covers it well.
So with that, what do you think? What did we miss? What are your favorite spells for 1st and 2nd level for the sorcerer? We got a place where we can discuss it down in the comments below. But before you head on out, let me take a moment to invite you to join Nerdarchy the Adventuring Party over on Patreon. What can they expect over there, Ted?
So we're creating products for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons every month that both players and DMs alike can drop right into their game.
But that's not all. We do monthly giveaways, and our patrons are automatically entered.
We also do weekly hangouts with our patrons and more.
So quest on down to the description where you can join Nerdarchy the Adventuring Party over on Patreon. And until next time,
Stay nerdy.